Welcome back to the Product-Led Festival. But before we get going with the next helping of inspiring content, we'd like to take a moment to thank our sponsors for helping us bring this event to your screens. And don't forget, you can access even more content from exclusive articles and interviews to all past and future events on demand, as well as templates and frameworks by becoming a PLA member. Head over to theproductledalliance.com for more info. Enjoy the next session. Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Product-Led Festival. Thank you all for tuning in. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our next speaker today, Gilad Avidan from DemoStack. He is the co-founder and chief product officer, and he will be doing a talk today on how to bring PLG to your enterprise sales motion. Welcome, Gilad.
Thank you, Caitlin. So hi, everybody. Thank you for coming in today. Like Caitlin said, my name is Gilad, and I'm co-founder and I'm CPO at DemoStack, where we have some really exciting tech to help you show off your products in the best possible light so that you can win so much many more deals. And today I want to talk about how you can take your enterprise product and bring some much needed product-led growth ideas into your sales cycle, but also how you can take an existing product-led flow, if you have one right now, and make much more of an impact in your high-value deals. So let's start. So why is product-led growth so great, right? So the reason, I think, is because the product is the star of the show. That's what everybody wants to see. That's what everybody wants to feel. And if the product is good, they'll buy. Look at companies like Slack and Monday and Notion and Zoom. You can just sign up and you're immediately in the product, right? And that takes care of a couple of problems. First of all, you have your bottleneck of having to schedule multiple conversations with prospects just to get them to sign, and you don't have that anymore. And secondly, if your product is easy to get started with, when the account actually gets used and grows, and it's time to talk to a sales rep, for example, you already know so much about what that customer is doing and what problems they're solving, where they need extra help. Things like that. But a problem that we're having, a lot of other companies are having, is that not every product is built to do this kind of thing. Some products require a lot of setup or integration, for example. So just throwing somebody in there might not be a good strategy. So what I want to talk about today is, one, how do we bring product-led growth to enterprise products that are like more complicated or involved products, where we rely on customer-facing teams to show the product and get the prospect set up, or products where the prospect needs some extra help realizing the potential of what your product can do, especially when you get to those higher value enterprise deals. So in short, how can we show off our product if our product takes a lot of work to show? And if you have a sales cycle right now, even if you are currently product-led, you may have sales cycles still for your larger deals, and you're probably looking at something like this. The earlier you are in the process, the less likely you are to show product. Definitely, you're not showing anything that's customer tailored. So let's try to kind of zoom in on what you can show. So really, as you go down this funnel, you're showing more and more custom and tailored stuff. And the prospects, they want to see product ASAP, as soon as possible, like on the first call, just show me the product, right? But you're not really set up to do that. So what we get in the first part is sort of like a desert of PowerPoints, right? Like this whole first part, you can't really show product at all if your product is more complicated, because you need technical resources to be able to show it, and you're definitely not showing anything tailored. So the prospect wants to see everything, but you have nothing good to show, and you kind of want to lead them down the funnel before you commit to anything. And again, even if your product is built for using it right away, this will still come up in the higher value deals, or if the customer wants to really scale and see enterprise features. So I guess our challenge is, how do we bring the product into the conversation earlier, right? How do we get rid of that desert of PowerPoints? How do we make what we show better and more personalized? And how do we make it easy enough that we can have non-technical team members like some AEs and SDRs how do we make it non-technical so that they'll be able to show it reliably again and again. And like we need to do it at scale. So that means taking care of stuff like product updates. If your product updates and there's a new feature, you want to be able to kind of show those things as well. And we want to do it without putting a huge burden on R&D, which I'm pretty sure your R&D teams have super ambitious roadmaps anyway, and that has nothing to do with how easy the product is to show. They want to build real features for customers. So, if we get into how we demo today, I'm sure all of you, if you have a demo environment, you know how difficult it is to get that demo to work right, and also to tell a story that the salespeople want to tell. So when you first start, you only have your production environment, right? So, but you can't really show production because you can't show a real account, customer's account. It has sensitive information. It has PII. That's like a huge nightmare. And of course, if you want to show anything that's coming later, which sometimes is the case, you want to show roadmaps, stuff that's coming up. That's not possible on production. So you're back, to showing PowerPoints and Figmas and Vision, stuff like that. On the other hand, if you build something custom just to show off your products, and a lot of companies are doing that, that's going to interfere with your roadmap, and it's going to be very expensive. And even if you can get like an Acme account or a Pied Piper account, some generic, fake account, and you can get that ready, who's going to put in all the fake data and make sure that it makes sense and is up to date? Sometimes you can get a lot of fake data in there, but it's not really telling the story, and it's very noisy. So you're showing the product, but the prospect still needs to use their imagination to realize the value. So what do you do when there's like a new version, a new feature? You still need to figure out how to demo that feature, and you can't show it until the demo is also ready. That's a huge delay. And salespeople, as we know, always want to show things a little bit before they're ready, which is just the worst time where an R&D is kind of building out the feature and polishing the feature. That's when they want to show it, right? So actually, that's what we're solving for at DemoStack. So we want to help you impact deals by showing your product better, showing it earlier, and enabling a lot more people at your org to show it in the best light possible. And our goal is to make showing your product 100x easier than it is now, and without sacrificing any of the feel and any of the bells and whistles that you'll lose if you use PowerPoint or tools like Figma or InVision. And I'm going to do a short demo for you in a couple of minutes. But before we do that, I just want to make sure that we're on the same page going in. So here's how our product at DemoStack works. So what you do, we're going to replace our demo environment with something that's going to be look and feel the same. And it's going to be much more reliable, faster, and editable as well. So the first step is you go into our recorder and you record your product. And when you do that, basically what it is, and I'll show you in a second, is you demo normally to our system, and we take care of grabbing all the data and resources that your app needs to go through your demo flow. And we take all of those resources like images and data and backend stuff, and we save all of that aside to use later. And the recording itself that we save is like a sandbox. You can move around and you're not limited to any linear flow. You can play around in it. But if you're removed from your backend, so you can't like delete anything by accident, and the environment always stays exactly the same. And the next step after that is customizing it. So we give you kind of like a Squarespace or Wix for demos, where you can easily change text, images, names, numbers, whatever, to make the story cleaner. So you can kind of get rid of all that junk data and make it tell a story. And you can even have like multiple versions, like a demo for SMB, a demo for mid-market, and one for enterprise. Or even like take it a step further and make like a customized demo for like a big prospect with a very specific story you want to tell there. So if you can use Squarespace, you know enough to do it in DemoStack as well. And finally, when the demo is prepped, we give your customer-facing team, tools to present it either live on a Zoom call or share it as a leave behind after the call. You can also make like step-by-step product tours and put them on your marketing website or user guide or whatever, and kind of bring your product even earlier up in the funnel in the marketing stage. So I'm going to show you what it's like. and I'm going to create a custom demo. Let's create a custom demo, tailored demo together from scratch in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to tab into Demo Stack. Let's sign in real quick. Yeah, we'll get this running in a second. Actually, let me refresh that real quick. Cool. Here we are. So what we're going to do is we have this product called RevPower, and right now we're in Demo Stack and kind of like the RevPower org, and we're going to start a new recording. I'm going to show you like the RevPower product for a second. This is the product that we came up with, and it looks like a really complicated new product with charts and tables and pie charts and all of this stuff. And the goal of this product is to kind of demonstrate that we can record anything. Like if we can record this, we can definitely record your app because there's so much stuff here. So we're gonna take this site that's on RevPower and we're gonna make a recording of it, and then we're gonna customize that demo. So I'll start a new recording, and I'm gonna type in the URL for the product, which is revpower.io, and you would type in like the URL for your demo environment here. You hit enter, and then we're gonna load the site, this time in the recorder. So if you have a login screen or anything like that, you'll log in here. And then when you're ready, you hit start recording, and then you can kind of record your demo flow. And this is basically telling us, go through the demo, go through all the screens that you're going to show in a real demo, and we'll make sure that we save all of that aside. So let's say that our demo flow is kind of showing this main screen, and then we're going to go to the analytics screen and show that. And then we'll go to the finance screen, and show the finance screen. And we'll go to the account screen, kind of going through the motions here. And you can go as fast as you want. You don't need to wait for it to record or anything. Let's say that we'll go, to the customer list and, show the first customer, and then we'll see that we have invoices for them. And then, we'll go to the products page and basically kind of do a demo where the prospect is asking you to kind of see everything. And we also have like these apps here just so that we can show kind of like more complex things like a calendar, for example. So let's say that, when the final screen, we'll go to the overview and stop the recording, because that's like our demo flow. I'll hit stop recording, and I'll give it the recording a name. So this will be like a RevPower recording for PLG, and save the recording. And once I did that, that recording is ready. So we can already kind of preview that and see what that looks like. And again, this is a recording of RevPower. So this would be like the original RevPower, and this is the recording, right? So this is running off of Demo Stack servers now. So if this is your original product, this would be the recording, and you can see that it's like indistinguishable. And you can kind of hop between these pages, and this is completely disconnected from the RevPower backend right now. So any page that I recorded, I can go back and forth, and this would be like the first thing that your customer-facing teams can show. But that's not even the cool part. I think the cool part is the editor, right? So we have this demo environment that we built. Let's see if we can customize it and make it that much cooler. Right, so now we have this recording loaded, but you can see that we have all of these toolbars here on the top and on the left, and that's our editor. So let's say that we want to customize this, which has a lot of some junk and some bad data, just like any demo environment, just like I'm sure a lot of your demo environments. And we want to make this into like an enterprise demo because we want to show this to our enterprise customers. So instead of demo for PLG, let's call this the enterprise. And now we're going to start editing. So all you need to do is kind of click on this, and this will open like an inspect mode. And if you can see these kind of yellow text boxes. So the first thing that I'm going to do is we're going to change these numbers to make it more enterprising. So like in enterprise, they'll see this demo and these numbers, like they seem small to them. So let's change it to $100 million and $200 million in the wallet. And, maybe they don't have a private wallet, they have a corporate wallet. So it doesn't have to be just data that you're changing. It can be any kind of text or anything like that. And like, let's see that, we're an enterprise. So we're not spending $14,000. We're spending, $14 million. You get the picture. You can kind of change anything around here. And that's just a start, changing text. You can change all the text around to kind of tell the story that you want to tell. And the second thing you can change is you can edit these images, right? So sometimes what you want to do is you want to have like an image of that prospect, or maybe make it feel a little bit more custom and tailored to them. So you can kind of click on this image, and I don't think you're going to see, but I have a file dialog open right now. So you're just going to see like gray, but I'm going to replace this with an image from my computer. And then you have like that image of that user, and you can kind of tailor any image, any icon, anything like that whenever you want. And the last thing I'm going to do a couple more things. One, which I think is really cool, is editing charts. So you got these charts here, and charts are usually a big pain point when you want to show your product early, because these are usually based off of like a database or something. So if you want to, change these total transactions and you want to make it look like, for example, you want to make, October 20th is like a big sales day, and you want to make it look bigger. Instead of having to go to your database and changing the numbers here, you can just click on the chart and kind of drag this up like that. That's like 120,000. Maybe that's a little bit much. Let's change it to 75,000, something like that. But then like October 5 is also like a big day. So you can kind of change the chart around to kind of tell any story that you want to tell. And you can do that with line charts too. So let's say that you have these traffic sources, just click on that and change it around. And you can make these charts tell whatever story you want to tell. Finally, I want to make one little change. So, we changed this this image here, but we still haven't changed the customer, the prospect's name. Jane Robinson is kind of like a Jane Doe, right? So you have Jane Doe in your demo environment too, probably. But you want to change this. This will show up in lots of different places in the app, like in the account page and on these menus. And you'll see, Jane Robinson everywhere. So instead of going and changing that in every single place, you can just click on Find and Replace, add a role, and replace text. And every time we see Jane Robinson, we'll just replace it with, I don't know, Tim Cook. We can create that role. Now you'll see that, it changed to Tim Cook, but it also changed it here to Tim Cook. And if I go to the account page, it should also say Tim Cook, like over here. That's like a very quick way of, we made this into like a demo for Apple or whatever, in a few minutes. And then all you really need to do is you can click on publish. We edited 14 elements. We can change it to, made changes to make it more enterprise. And delete the rest. And we can click publish. And now your demo is saved and published, and you can go to the demo page and you can see that we have like the original revision, and now we made changes to make it more enterprise ready. And now you can kind of take this link and give it to your AEs or give it to whomever that's going to present the demo. And all they need to do is click on present, say they're presenting it to Apple, and then they can start a new presentation. And this is what they're going to show on the Zoom call. So when they go on the Zoom call, they'll have something like this. It's going to say Rev Power, prepared, you got all of the stuff. And when they start the demo, they'll have that, custom version that you prepared for them with all of the stuff cleaned up and all of the charts edited. And now they can, show product that much earlier. And even somebody who's not technical at all will be able to kind of handle this. So before I can show you a little bit more stuff, but do you guys have any questions? We can go to Q&A.
Hi, Gilad. Thank you for that. We got a question here from Fee, who's asked, what are the top mistakes you see in demos that reduce the product's impact?
Wow, so that's a great question. I think that when you have junk data in the demo, like when you have the more charts you have and the more data, the more complicated your product is, the harder it is for the prospect to kind of imagine the impact of the product for them, right? When you're doing a demo, you're telling a story about how your product is going to change that prospect's life and solve all of their problems. What you need is to kind of know what the problems are that they're experiencing. You should do that during discovery, even during the demo itself. And you should have the demo tell a story that shows the value. If you use phrases like, this will show you real data, or, use your imagination, this will show you real, sales or whatever, that's when they kind of lose you. Every time they need to use their imagination, that's when you lose them a little bit. And over time, they just kind of stop listening.
Great, thank you. We've got another question here from Raoul, who's asked, what do you find are the most popular features of DemoStack that your clients are after when they're thinking of buying?
Wow, thank you for that. So I think that, one of the most popular features is, chart editing, that I showed you. Editing charts is usually a huge pain point. Actually, can I still demonstrate a little something extra? Because that's like a really popular feature as well. But you need to kind of think scale here, right? So we did this demo. Let me go back to that demo and edit it again. Because now, if you're like a sales engineer or you're a person that's a demo engineer that's managing demos all day long, we have this cool thing where now it says Tim Cook. That's great, but now your salespeople are asking, every time they're asking you to make me one for Microsoft, make me one for Google, make me one for that, and it's like it's a big lift for you. So what we have is a feature called variables, where you can kind of plug in almost like a template here. So instead of Tim Cook, it's going to have a template, and then your AEs or whoever's presenting, they can kind of go ahead and plug values into the demo without going into the editor and creating a new revision every time. So the way to do that is you create a variable, and we're going to call it, username. That's the user for this RevPower demo, and the default value, let's put it is Tim Cook. Right, so now we have the username value, and I'm going to copy that. And let me just close this. And now, instead of search and replacing Jane Robinson with Tim Cook, what I'm going to do is replace it with this username in curly braces, right? And what that does is, first of all, it's going to put username like this everywhere in the demo, right? So, and that's what we want. Let me publish this so I can show you kind of why that's cool. And this is what you would do, or when you're preparing the demo. But then when they want to present the demo, they can click on present. And now, let's say they're presenting to Microsoft. They have this little variables box here, and they can change username to be Satya Nadella. And now when they make that presentation, that's not going to show username. That's going to show Satya Nadella everywhere. So they can kind of create, plug in these values, and you can see that it says Satya Nadella here and here. And we have customers that have done, gone very far with this and made, hundreds, dozens of variables, and have their AEs kind of customize every little thing in the product, in the product demo, so that it's really, really super tailored, and they can do that without even having to go into the editor.
Great, thanks for that. Just had a comment from Judson who says very cool feature. We've got another question from Laura here, who's asked, how long does it typically take to onboard a team using DemoStack?
So once we make sure that your product records correctly, which is usually a couple of days. Usually we can get it out of the box. Sometimes it takes a little bit. Once that's done, that's just basically doing the demo that I showed you. We don't even have we don't really need a training program that's much deeper than this, because the product is pretty straightforward to use, I think. Usually it's a matter of a couple of weeks to get that first presentation to a customer happening.
Great, thank you. Any more questions? Pop them in the chat. I've got a question for you, Gilad. What's the best way to collect data about what your customers need or want to see in your demos?
The best way to collect what they need. So there's different ways of doing that. One thing that we do have in our product is we can go to our presentations and see the presentation that I did, and you can see the analytics. I just showed, one screen. Over time, you're going to have multiple presentations here for all of your AEs in your team, and you'll be able to see what screens they're showing. And if you can also share these demos after the call and kind of see what your prospects are looking at in those demos. So once you're done with the call, you can share a link, and they go into that link, and they're looking at the different screens, and then you can see kind of what features they're looking at, what they're into, what they're interested in, and even they can invite colleagues to kind of look at that demo, and you can use that for deal discovery.
Cool, thank you. Great. So if we haven't got any other questions in the chat, we are pretty much at time now, I think. So thank you so much, Gilad, for today. It was a great talk and demo session. I think everyone really enjoyed it and got a good insight to Demo Stack. And thanks to everyone for tuning in and popping your questions to Gilad in the chat. Thanks again. And yes, stay tuned for the rest of the day. We've got more sessions to come. And we will see you all soon.
Thank you, Caitlin. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
Thanks all. Bye.